Welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining us for today's Explainer, because we are diving into a really cool documentary-style look at the wild, volatile, and honestly pretty confusing world of cryptocurrency. But hey, don't worry. Instead of getting completely bogged down in complex computer science jargon or boring Wall Street analytics, we're going to explore this whole thing through a really fascinating thought experiment, a primate economy. Seriously, by looking at how a troop of monkeys manages their money, we can actually unlock the core concepts of the blockchain. It's an absolutely fantastic mental model, so let's jump right in. To understand why crypto was even invented in the first place, we really have to look at the traditional system. Imagine our monkey society uses leaves as their primary currency. Most monkeys use these leaves to buy the things they need, much like we use our traditional fiat currencies in the real world, like the US dollar, the euro, you get the idea. But that begs a super important question. What happens when monkey banks control all the leaves? Because when a centralized institution holds literally all the power, some pretty serious cracks begin to show in the financial system.
And those cracks become painfully obvious when you compare traditional leaves to a brand new invented solution: bananas. The huge downside to leaves is that every single time a monkey buys something, the bank takes a cut in fees. Plus, transactions can be painfully slow, especially if monkeys try to send leaves across borders to other monkey countries. Oh, and banks can just print more leaves out of thin air, which naturally causes inflation and devalues the leaves the monkeys already worked so hard for. Fake leaves are a constant problem, and let's be real, the bank isn't always open. So, born out of total frustration, a new decentralized currency was invented: bananas, which in this story represent cryptocurrency.
Section 1, Bananas and the Blockchain. Okay, let's dive into exactly how this banana currency operates without a central monkey bank pulling the strings.
So, what makes bananas such a game changer? Well, the core advantage is that they aren't controlled by one single monkey, government, or bank. They're actually managed by the entire troop. When monkeys buy things with bananas, there are virtually zero fees, or maybe just a tiny fraction of a banana if the network is super busy. Trades are lightning fast internationally, and anyone can participate without asking for permission to open an account. Crucially, some bananas have a strict, mathematically limited supply, which means zero inflation. They literally can't be counterfeited, and the market never, ever sleeps. It's an economy built entirely by the users for the users.
But wait, if there are no banks, how on earth do they keep track of who owns what, right? Well, traditional banks keep private ledgers hidden away in giant vaults, but the monkeys use something completely transparent: the big rock. Think of this like a digital block. Instead of hiding the math, all banana transactions are etched right onto this big rock, where every single monkey can view them all the time. In fact, everyone gets their own identical, constantly updated copy of the rock. It is the ultimate, unhackable public ledger.
Section 2, the banana mining process. Let's take a closer look at the actual monkeys responsible for keeping this whole network running.
We call these dedicated workers banana miners, and their job is absolutely essential. First, these miners meticulously check each banana transaction being made just to ensure all the math lines up perfectly. Second, they immediately toss out any obviously fake trades. Third, they permanently etch the verified correct transactions right into the block. But step 4 is where the real security magic kicks in. Once the block is completely full, the miners have to race against each other to guess a highly complex code to seal it shut.
This incredibly intense guessing game is officially known as proof of work. Just imagine a giant combination lock, where the miners have to rapidly guess millions of numbers until one of them finally gets it right. It takes a massive amount of energy and sheer monkey power. Once a monkey guesses the correct code, the block is officially secured, and that specific miner gets rewarded with newly minted bananas for their massive effort. The rest of the troop then instantly verifies the code is correct, which makes sure nobody can sneak any fraudulent trades past the group.
So, when the banana miners finish a block, they share it with the whole troop, and it gets added to a long sequential line. This is the blockchain. Each block contains its own unique code, plus the code of the block that came directly before it. This links them together permanently. Because they're chained together like this, a monkey cannot secretly go back and alter a past block without having to re-guess all the complex codes for every single following block. And honestly, mathematically, that is basically impossible.
Now you might be sitting there wondering, who actually invented this genius banana system? Well, the creator is actually a total mystery. Sure, there are monkeys who claim they invented bananas, but nobody really buys it. The source material points out that all the monkeys know for sure is a name: Satoshi Nakamoto, which, if you look closely at the spelling and start rearranging some letters and dropping some out, well, let's just say it's an inside joke in the primate economy that brilliantly adds to the whole overall mythology of crypto's origins.
Section 3, Volatility and Ape Investing. Now, what's really fascinating here is how we transition from the brilliant cold hard math of the blockchain straight into the completely chaotic reality of primate psychology when it comes to their money. Most monkeys approach investing by trying to buy low and sell high, right? Makes sense. But where traditional stock markets are kind of like a smooth, relaxing car ride through the countryside, the crypto market is literally a rocket-powered roller coaster. Because bananas are a relatively new asset class, the price is unbelievably volatile. I mean, just one rumor on a forum, one news headline, or literally one tweet from a prominent monkey can cause the value to skyrocket or totally crash in a matter of minutes. And this extreme volatility leads to some wildly irrational behavior. When monkeys see a rare banana becoming way more valuable, a massive fear of missing out just takes over. This leads to a behavior officially known in real-world crypto spaces as aping. Aping is exactly what it sounds like. It's when investors throw money into crypto purely out of hype, completely ignoring the underlying risks, simply because the trend line is going up and everyone else is doing it.
But then, on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, we have a strategy known as hodling. Based on a famous real-world internet typo that basically became a whole investing mantra, hold on for dear life. This is when monkeys buy crypto and absolutely refuse to sell it for a very, very long time. No matter how violently that rocket-powered roller coaster dips or crashes, these monkeys just buckle in and hold on to their bananas, fully trusting the long-term vision over short-term panic.
Section 4, the dark side of crypto. Okay, let's pump the brakes for a second. We've seen the innovation and the hype, but for a truly objective look at the source material, we need to slow things down and carefully examine the very real dangers lurking within this economy.
Look, as revolutionary as the blockchain is, there are some pretty significant disadvantages. First, while some bananas have a limited supply, there are thousands of new, completely unregulated cryptocurrencies out there that have unlimited supplies, meaning they can easily lose value. Second, all those miners, they require massive warehouse-level amounts of computer equipment and electricity, which leads to some really serious negative environmental effects. Third, the anonymity of the system has given crypto a somewhat shady reputation because it's often used to buy illegal items on digital black markets. And finally, while the Big Rock Ledger itself is unhackable, thieves absolutely can and do steal bananas directly from an individual monkey's poorly secured personal stash.
And beyond just individual theft, there is a totally devastating systemic danger that every single investor needs to understand: the rug pull scam. Here's exactly how it plays out. Step 1. A creator hypes up a brand new cryptocurrency to unsuspecting monkeys. Step 2. FOMO kicks in. The monkeys ape in and the price shoots up. Step 3. The creator secretly dumps their massive pre-mined share of the crypto at the absolute peak price. Step 4. This sudden, massive sell-off causes the price to instantaneously crash to zero. And the regular monkeys? They're left with entirely worthless digital tokens and empty pockets.
Section 5, the future of bananas. So with the brilliant technology of the blockchain on one hand and the volatile, sometimes really dangerous reality of the market on the other, where does that actually leave the troop today?
Well, the current landscape is kind of a tale of two realities. On one side, we are seeing an absolute explosion of new crypto. Different types of new bananas are popping up every single day. Some of them are backed by brilliant global research, while others are literal internet jokes created just for fun. But if we zoom out and look at the broader macroeconomic picture, the truth is that despite all this vibrant growth, the vast majority of monkeys still prefer to use their traditional leaves. Good old-fashioned fiat currency still dominates the day-to-day lives of the troop.
Which really brings us to the ultimate question presented by the source material. Some monkeys absolutely insist that bananas represent the future of all global finance, like a total decentralized utopia. But other monkeys are entirely convinced it's just a passing, speculative phase that will never replace the stability of leaves. So what do you think? Will the blockchain completely reshape the financial jungle forever? Or is it just a wild rocket ride destined to eventually run out of fuel? Weigh the facts, keep exploring this primate economy for yourself, and thanks so much for joining me for today's Explainer.